We applaud and support the excellent leadership of PAP administration. We are not a tool in anyone's hands. A group of professional media professionals committed to maintaining accuracy, impartiality, and fairness in our reporting is called the Ijaw Publishers Forum, IPF. Our loyalty is to the truth, the people, and the advancement of the Niger Delta. We are not a tool in anyone's hands. As journalists of conscience, we applaud and support good leadership wherever it can be found, particularly among Ijaw sons and daughters who have served with distinction.
World Press Conference by the Ijaw Publishers Forum on the activities of the Presidential Amnesty Program under Dr. Dennis Brutu Otwaro. Gentlemen of the press, the Ijaw Publishers Forum is a collective of professional media practitioners dedicated to upholding truth, balance, and fairness in our reporting. We are not a tool in anyone's hand. Our allegiance to the truth, the people, and the progress of Niger Delta. As journalists of good conscience, we commend and defend good leadership wherever it is found, especially among Ijaw sons and daughters who have distinguished themselves in service.
Our goal is straightforward: to speak devoid of fear or favor, to draw attention to accomplishment when it occurs, and to confront wrongdoing when it does. Therefore, when we speak up in favor of any public office bearer, it is not motivated by sentiment, politics, or self-interest, but rather by an unbiased appreciation of their leadership, integrity, and results. Under the experienced leadership of Dr. Dennis Brutu Otwaro, whose administration has revived optimism, restored focus, and repositioned the program for the genuine empowerment of Niger Deltans, we are gathered here today for this World Press Conference to present the true picture of the Presidential Amnesty Program. In light of this, we, the Ijaw Media Conglomerate, hereby declare our unwavering support for High Chief Dr. Dennis Brutu Otwaro, Doctor of Philosophy, as the Presidential Amnesty Program Administrator.
We, the conglomerate of media organizations of the Niger Delta region, hereby express our strong support for the leadership of Dr. Dennis Brutu Otwaro as administrator of the Presidential Amnesty Program, PAP.
Since President Bola Ahmed Tinubu appointed him on the 14th of March 2024, he has already shown a clear sense of purpose, quantifiable accomplishments, and a commitment to service. Principal accomplishments and commitments. Academic and leadership credentials. Dr. Otwaro had excellent academic credentials when he took office. He has a PhD in development studies and comparative politics, in Master of Science in Public Administration, and a Bachelor of Science.
His tenure since his appointment by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on the 14th March 2024 has already demonstrated clarity of purpose, measurable achievements, and dedication to service.
Under his direction, PAP has started more extensive human capital development initiatives in addition to providing ex-agitators with stipends. Human-focused leadership. The administrator emphasized giving the program a human face, developed for the people of the Niger Delta for a better future. Enlarged Scholarship Program. As part of its Enlarged Scholarship Program, PAP has sent more than 140 scholars abroad, most notably to the United Kingdom and South Africa. Inclusive stakeholder participation. He has continuously advocated for the inclusion of all stakeholders, including women, in the Niger Delta peace process.
Key achievements and commitments. 1. Dr. Otwaro entered office with strong credentials. He holds a PhD in comparative politics and development studies and Masters in public administration and a BSc in education. 2. Under his leadership, PAP has moved beyond mere stipend payments to ex-agitators and launch broader human capital interventions. For example, the administrator emphasized giving the program a human face, developed for people of the Niger Delta for better future. 4. PAP has deployed over 140 scholars overseas, notably the UK and South Africa, as part of its expanded scholarship scheme. He has consistently called for stakeholders' inclusion, including women's participation in the peace process for Niger Delta. He has consistently reaffirmed the program's mandate of sustainable peace, security, and development in the Niger Delta region. These are not symbolic gestures alone. They reflect strategic repositioning of PAP to deliver tangible value, particularly education, vocational training, and stakeholders' engagement for communities along impacted by militancy, environmental harm, and underdevelopment.
PAP's strategic repositioning. These are significantly more than just symbolic actions. They show how PAP has strategically repositioned itself to provide real benefits, especially through stakeholder involvement, education, and vocational training for communities long affected by underdevelopment, environmental degradation, and militancy. Our role. We contend that under Dr. Otuaro's leadership, the Presidential Amnesty Program has improved its performance, accountability, and transparency. The program should not be derailed by those who favor the status quo or see reform as a danger to established interests, as this is in the best interests of the Niger Delta people and Nigeria as a whole.
We maintain that Dr. Otuaro's stewardship place PAP on firmer footing in terms of transparency, accountability, and performance. It is in the interest of the Niger Delta people and Nigeria as a whole that the program not be derailed by those who would prefer the status quo of who view the reform as threats to entrench the interests.
Sincere criticism and monitoring are welcome, but what we are seeing in certain places are attempts to use deception, false information, invested interest campaigns to weaken a qualified, reform-minded leader. According to reliable accounts, for instance, attacks on the administrator have escalated because he refused to open the coffers of the amnesty program to certain groups of individuals. Call to action. Therefore, we urge Niger Delta community stakeholders, PAP delegates, and beneficiaries to keep backing Dr. Otuaro and his reform agenda. It is essential to have unity behind reform-minded leadership. Youth organizations, media outlets, and civil society organizations should provide helpful criticism instead of harmful criticism. Debates should focus on concepts and results rather than individuals. Instead of using rumors, covert operations, or destabilizing strategies to support their claims, critics of Dr. Otuaro's leadership should do so openly and through the appropriate channels. Every tier of government, including federal, state, and municipal ones, should provide PAP with the institutional support it needs to carry out its role. The area is deserving of nothing less. In conclusion, we contend that reverting to previous practices will not be beneficial for the Niger Delta's future or the welfare of its inhabitants. The Presidential Amnesty Program must be given the opportunity to develop under qualified leadership if it is to fulfill its promises of development, empowerment, and reintegration. Dr. Dennis Barutu Otuaro has proven to have the skill, dedication, and foresight needed for this assignment. We promise to assist him going forward, and we call on others to give up partisan posturing and work together to improve the Niger Delta. Signed on the 6th of November 2025 by Comrade Ozobo Austin, President of the Ijaw Publishers Forum.
Genuine criticism and oversight are welcome, but we are not witnessing in certain quarters attempts to undermine what we are witnessing in certain quarters, attempts to undermine a capable, reform-minded leadership through misdirection, misinformation, and vested interest claims. For example, credible reportage notes that attacks on the administrator have increased because he refused to open the coffers of the amnesty program to certain groups of individuals. Call to action. We therefore call upon PAP delegates, beneficiaries, and Niger Delta community stakeholders to continue supporting Dr. Otuaro and his reforms. Unity behind reform-minded leadership is indispensable. Media houses, civil society organizations, and youth groups to offer constructive feedback rather than destructive opposition. Let debates be about ideas and outcomes, not personalities. Those critics of Dr. Otuaro leadership to substantiate their allegations transparently and through proper channels rather than behind the cover of gossip, clandestine campaigns, or destabilizing tactics. All arms of government, federal, state, and local, to give PAP the institutional backing it needs to fulfill its mandate. The region deserves no less. Finally, we assert that the future of the Niger Delta and the well-being of its people will not be shaped by retreating into old patterns. If PAP is to deliver on its promise of reintegration, empowerment, and development, it must be allowed to evolve under capable stewardship. Dr. Dennis Otuaro has shown the aptitude, commitment, and vision for his task. We pledge our support for his success, and we urge others to abandon partisan posturing and join in the work of transforming Niger Delta for better. IPF!
Telling the just story.
IPF!
Telling the just story.
Telling the just story.
IPF.
My name is Tare Magbei. I'm the Secretary of the Ijaw Publishers Forum, and today, as earlier posited by the capable and indefatigable president of this great body, the Ijaw Publishers Forum today takes a bold stand in support of the activities, the administration particularly, of Dr. Dennis Otuaro in manning the presidential amnesty program. Without mincing words, this is a first of its kind since the presidential amnesty program was instituted way back in 2010. The footprints of Dr. Dennis Otuaro, so far so good, has been nothing short of somebody who wants the betterment, development, both in human capacity and otherwise, with regards to the Niger Delta. In that guise, if there is anybody with quantifiable, with empirical figures of how his administration needs to be better, perhaps in a more constructive critical way, it is welcome, but not to hide under the banner of blackmail and pull him down syndrome that some of us have become known with. It is not something that will be accepted. And as critical stakeholders of the development, driving the development and progress of the Niger Delta region. We take a bold stand today to say that all atoms of blackmail, of betraying or of the well-being of the Niger Delta people as driven by the Presidential Amnesty Program under Dr. Dennis Otwaro should be cut off. In fact, there should be an end to the backbiting. There should be an end to the blackmails. There should be an end to the meaningless calls for a sack. You can only call for someone's sack when the person is found wanting, when the person falls short of expectations on his table. But so far, so good. Dennis Otwaro has shown commitment, absolutely, standing on his toes to see that the Presidential Amnesty Program instills the needed impacts on the Niger Delta people, ranging from ex-agitators to students to women and critical stakeholders across all board. In that case, we stand before him to say that he should go on with his good works, and all other criticizing parties with no empirical evidences, with no empirical figures to how his government has not yielded the needed result should sheath their swords and join hands. By this, we are calling on all critical stakeholders, women, men, students, ex-agitators to rally behind the Presidential Amnesty Program's coordinator to see that his ideals for the body, for the intervention agency, as well as the Niger Delta, come to the front of our development.
This news is reaching you from Ogulaha Vanguards Limited, the true face of Niger Delta. We tell your story better.